Now that we have associated with our target network, we can start communicating with it and it won't ignore us. So now we can go and start injecting packets into the traffic to force the access point to generate new packets with new IVs. This will increase the number of data really quickly, allowing us to crack WEP networks in minutes, even if the network was not busy like the one that we are targeting right now. Now there are a number of ways to do this, but in this course I'm going to explain the most reliable method, which is using an ARP Request Replay Attack. I actually explain other methods in my network hacking course, but they are a little bit more complex and have less success rate. So this is the most reliable method and it should work against most networks if you have a good signal and a good wireless adapter. So the idea behind this method is to wait for an ARP packet, and I'll talk about ARP in more details later on. So for now, just think of it as a special type of a packet that we're going to be waiting on. Once this packet is sent in the network, we're going to capture it and retransmit it. Once we do this, the router is forced to generate a new packet with a new IV. So, by repeating this process, we will be forcing the router to continuously generate new packets with new IVs. Then, once we have enough data, once we have enough IVs, we can run ARP Cracking exactly as we seen before and crack the key. So let me show you how to do this in practice. Now, as you can see, I'm already running ARP.ng against my target network, and I have already associated with it as shown in the previous lecture. So the only thing that's left right now is to run the ARP replay attack in order to inject packets into the traffic and force the router to generate new packets and increase the number of data. To do that, we're going to use ARP-ng again, and the command is actually going to be very similar to this command right here. So I'm actually going to copy all of this because I'm lazy, and I'm going to clear this and paste the command here. Now, there are only a few things that I need to modify. First of all, I don't want to run a fake authentication attack, so I'm going to remove all of this. And I want to run an ARP replay attack. Also, this attack does not take a number, so I'm going to remove this number. And I'm also going to replace the A with a B. And we're done. So if you look at it, you'll see it's actually very similar to this command right here. We're using ARP-ng, but instead of doing a fake authentication attack, we're doing an ARP replay attack. We're giving it the MAC address of my target network after the B instead of the A. Then we're giving it the MAC address of my wireless adapter after the H, which is identical to this. And then we're giving it my wireless adapter in monitor mode. Now, I'm actually going to associate again before I do that. And then I'm going to hit enter here. And what's happening right now is my wireless adapter is waiting for an ARP packet. Once there is an ARP packet transmitted in this network, it's going to capture it and it's going to retransmit it. Once it does that, the access point will be forced to generate a new packet with a new IV, and we'll keep doing this, forcing the access point to continually generate new packets with new IVs. So you should just wait for it right now. We're literally just waiting for an ARP packet to be sent in the air. And as you can see, the number of data is increasing now very quickly, which means that we actually managed to capture an ARP packet. This ARP packet got retransmitted, forced the router to generate a new packet with a new IV, and we are continually doing this process, forcing the router to generate new packets with new IVs. So right now we can go ahead and run ARP Cracking to crack this network. And before I do that, I'll actually just associate one more time, and then I'm going to do ARP Cracking and give it the name of the file which we're storing the data in, which is called ARP Replay 01.cap. So I'm going to hit enter, and you'll notice the cracking process right now will actually require more data packets. The reason for this is I've actually modified the settings of this network so that it uses a 128-bit key, because in WEP you can either use a 64-bit or a 128-bit key. And obviously the 128 key is longer, therefore I actually modified the key length for this lecture to make sure it's the longest key possible. And as you can see, we still managed to get it within about 47,000 packets. We have the key right here in ASCII, and we have the key in here in hex, where we can use after we remove the colons. So perfect, now we managed to crack the target network. It was idle, as you could see, there was no data being sent, and we managed to do this by forcing the target access point to generate new packets with new IVs.